So today I'm going to be talking about the Eighth Concerto from Vivaldi's Opus 8 in G minor, the last movement. Not only is it a tour de force of virtuosity and stamina for the soloist, but the two extremely long pedal points for the soloist in the first solo and in the last solo are borrowings made from the third sonata of six sonatas by a German composer called Johann Paul von Westhoff, who was a member of the Dresden Hofkapelle. But how did Vivaldi come across this work? Over the centuries, plenty has been written about how Italian music of this period travelled north across the Alps. Relatively little has been written about music travelling the other way. I would argue that the reason for Vivaldi coming into contact with the Westhoff sonatas is that they must have been brought to Venice by Johann Georg Pisendel, another member of the Dresden Hofkapelle, when he came to visit Vivaldi in 1716 and 1717 in order to study violin and composition. One of the sort of key things about these borrowings is that Vivaldi doesn't just he doesn't do a copy and paste job on the sections in question. In fact, he's very careful about how he uses the material, sometimes altering it. I mean, there's not very much that is copy and paste. It's a really masterful example of how a composer should go about borrowing, even to the extent that in the last of these two sections, which is almost copy and paste transposed up a fifth from his first version, he removes one bar. And I remember when we were looking at this, when we were rehearsing it first, somebody questioned whether this was just a mistake. But actually, if you look at the Opus 8 print, and if you look at the autograph of Vivaldi that survives in Turin, it's absolutely consistent. The bar is removed from both sources. For a composer who's often accused of being rather slapdash, I've always thought that the reverse is most often true. So there you go. Opus 8, number 8, the finale. It's a cracker. Enjoy.